I know, guys. It's not working every single day, and I know they're not working twice a day either. And I'm trying to gain that edge. And I think about it, and I may be able to throw it off to some people, but like I know when guys go on Friday night, they're going out. I'm gonna go work out. Saturday night they're gonna go work out. I mean, they going to party. I'm gonna go work out. Like I'm trying to get that edge, and I'm just trying to have that mentality. I'm trying to gain an inch every single day, and because I know not everybody's doing that. And so when the time comes, we'll see.
Hey, y'all. Today, of course, it's Matt Rogers on the Honorable Mention podcast. Today, we have a familiar face and voice on the show, Chris Franklin from NJ.com, longtime beat reporter over there. Kind of my OG. He's not too old, but, to me, he's the OG. And so I thank you so much, Chris, for making time to come on.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. I'm starting to feel like an OG now. Like I was, like going my fifth season, my body's telling me, yo, what the heck is going on, man? I'm starting to feel like that. I'm turning 40 this year. Like, what the heck? I ain't there yet. No. Dang. Thanks for having me on, though, man. Thank you.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. If you guys don't mind, before we get started, please go ahead and leave a like and a subscribe on the channel. That's how things get out. Obviously, people get things out through their networks, but the way that things grow is organically through the people who enjoyed it, actually sharing it with somebody. Oh, this is cool. So you got to do that, folks. Or I'll just keep putting it out, and my normal 300-400 people will watch. And thank you all so much for listening. So, Chris, first things first, if we're talking about the draft, I mean, what do you think about this cornerback room, which was, pretty barren a couple months ago? I would have said now is stacked.
I don't know how the heck they're going to decide which six. Like, if you just go by last year, which six quarterbacks out of that whole entire room keep? It's crazy, like how all of a sudden it went from, okay, you had these guys, and then you had a couple guys in the back end that you could try to develop. All of a sudden, like, well, some of these guys are getting cut, and they're going to get picked up by other teams, and you might have to trade one or two of them. It's like it's crazy, and I know you need. I know the whole thing about. I know you said you need competition that brings up the best in everybody. Well, I don't know if you have enough time for a competition for a lot of these guys, because it's gonna be a couple snaps and go. So. Right. Some tough decisions upcoming for this team at that position.
And then another tricky part about it is you do want to see them in preseason, but you might be playing somebody who end up starting for you in week 3 or 4 in the slot or something like that, and they're playing heavy preseason minutes. So that conventional, way that the Eagles like to run and has worked out well on the injury front to not play anybody, it may get complicated by this like intense cornerback competition.
Yeah, I mean, look at how many times beforehand we were talking about Eli Ricks or Zach McPherson or Josh Joe potentially playing significant snaps for his team. Now all of a sudden, they're almost like toward the outside looking in, like they're in the middle of that fight. And we're probably going to be coming down to who's the best gunner on the special teams, because that razor thin between some of these guys to see who makes it is crazy.
And I give the early edge on that to McPherson. I think McPherson could be a decent special teams player from what I've seen so far. You get a better look than I do, though, Chris.
I like McPherson. Job and McPherson were good gunners. I think McPherson would have this slight edge right now because he started to play a little bit of the slot before he suffered that Achilles injury. So I think you get that little positional versatility there. Not to say Job hasn't gone out on the inside, but he's played mostly on the outside. So you have that going as well too, and then Rick's played well on the slot. He's undrafted. You can see him getting better. Oh yeah, Mekhi Garner. He got significant snaps at corner and safety toward the end. What are you gonna do with that? It's Avonte Maddox. Keep him in the slide. See that one too.
And I'm so glad they brought Avonte back.
Yeah. I thought you know what? Like I thought it was like a lock. If you asked me before the draft, it's a lock. He makes his team. Now I'm not so sure. Right. I think it's so quick. You can move him to safety. Maybe you save him that way, but then you look at safety, and you're like, they're pretty good there. So it's so many movable parts with this thing. It's a good position for them to be in, but it's tough if you got the final say on this roster.
It's a good problem. It's a good problem to have, though. It's a good problem to have. A bad problem to have is what's going on in Cincinnati with Tee Higgins. I mean, what do you make of that, man?
I look at this. I look at the way just the overall wide receiver market right now, and Tee Higgins. I mean, very talented player, guy who is a solid number two, and probably I'd probably say 1B on most teams because you look at. I mean, like I see it changed. Like the Chargers should be jumping up and down trying to get him, but that's another story. But I look at the way that contract situation is going, and I look at the way Cincinnati historically is. Besides Joe Burrow, which kind of stopped me to pay him the money that he did, and Jamar Chase and that stuff like that, that's upcoming. I just don't see Cincinnati always being the ones that could be a proactive pay money because historically you look outside as a key franchise. So
Yep.
I could see him going. I think Los Angeles would be a good situation for him. And he may have to go to if he wants to prove a deal, he probably do that route, but and try to get that eventually. Say, hey, you know what? Let me get this year here. I want to show you guys that I'm really good. I deserve to be even the number one. Let me do this. But in terms of Cincinnati, I think I don't think he can go back at all.
I got a follow up because you just hit on something, but just for the listeners, I want to make sure that we give the context before we get a little deeper on this. According to Kelsey Conway of Cincinnati.com, Higgins' camp was aiming for the range of which Indianapolis Colts wide receiver Michael Pittman signed for recently, which was $23.33 million per year. But according to Conway's report, the Bengals didn't eclipse $20 million per year and instead just slapped this tag on them. I just don't. It's hard for me to think of a last time the tag worked out for the team. I just think it's a poverty franchise move.
It is. Like I look at them. They're probably one of the biggest teams that are like, you know what, maybe we shouldn't have a franchise tag or make a new one. They're probably thinking ways, can we get another one? Because it basically like, oh, we want to force this person to come back because we know there are people for that. Like Cincinnati is not, to me, even with Burrow now on that thing, even with Chase, they're not a destination franchise. You know, sorry about that. They're not a franchise destination for that.
Might be news.
Oh no, someone else. So, lately, now the way everything's been going, like
you got to check it,
man. Boston Scott last night, like Boston Scott released. So like, well, Jeopardy's on. This is good. But getting back to Higgins and the Bengals, even a sign and trade right now. When I think about that, they're not going to get real value on there. If I'm Higgins, I'm sitting in. I really am because why would you risk yourself going there?
I'm gonna get myself hurt, right? For you,
for them, and then knowing them, they'll probably find a way saying, "Oh, you did this while doing something else," and that's just the Bengals MO, like with their way they pay up. So, yeah, I think I'm trying to push away to getting out, but they're not going to get value back, so he's probably back, and you're looking at a very pissed off Higgins going into this year.
Yeah, I mean, and that kind of leads to, I think, how he's kind of playing chess is staying chess moves ahead of the other franchises, namely the Dallas Cowboys. They just made the price go up on CD. You know, you lock up your great wide receiver tandem. If people want to have the conversation and say AJ and Devontae is the best in the league, I'm willing to have the discussion, but at least they're in the discussion. Best they're now they're tied down. Meanwhile, Gallup is no longer on the Cowboys. They lost Stephon Gilmore, and then the price is going up every second on Micah Parsons and on CD. And the Eagles, meanwhile, everybody's pretty much locked up. So whatever you see this year is what you're going to get, and it's beautiful, man.
I'm nowhere near being Mensa. I mean, I got knocked out in the spelling bee in the third round when I was in middle school. I know that I look at the definition of all in. This isn't what the Cowboys like. When I see definitions of all in, the Cowboys aren't doing it. Maybe it's a new definition. I don't know, but I'm looking at it like I don't get it. Like you're telling yourselves that you want to make you're all in. You're telling yourselves that you want to be a contender in this conference, and you still had a chance to do so, even with all the moves everybody else said. You still have a chance to do it. You can't lock up Gallup. I know he's been disappointed time, but you look at what you're doing, CD. You're just kicking the can down the road, and you put yourself in a bad situation. The Cowboys should have been one of the first teams to lock him up. I know you have Prescott things going on, but there's a way you can, if you really truly trust your scouting department, and you have, I have to give the Cowboys credit. They have done a very good job in terms of when it comes to draft picks and developing them and making them in there. But that's cost-effective labor they can have on their team to allow them to go ahead and make these deals like this for CD and Prescott, and they're not taking advantage of it. And I'm wondering what the heck they're doing. And it's going to cost them down the line now. So all of a sudden now, the extra money that CD was sitting back and was like, "Oh, they can do it. Oh, they want to really do it. Okay,
Yep.
fine, now." But I'll put 90% on the Cowboys, but also 10% on CD, because when I look at what the Eagles did, you look at AJ Brown, Devontae Smith. They both basically, in the way the deals are shaped out and worked out, they both made concessions in the way it is. And you have to have players that are willing to be together, B, knowing the whole overall landscape of what the team is trying to accomplish and what the other contracts are doing, and C, still getting what they want. You got to mix that all together and put themselves in a situation. And unless the Cowboys were considerably lowballing them just to try to see what's going on with Prescott and everything else, if they were doing that, then I got no problems. I got no problems with what CD did. But if it wasn't, and if it was around the same area, I got to look at the player on that too, and that's rough. They're just putting themselves in a worse position in the next couple of years, especially if they need that one player to try to match the Eagles.
That balloon payment is going to hit. And they got bailed out. They got the rescue package because getting Dak and getting Ezekiel Elliott in that same draft really set them up for success.
Yeah.
But, it's not always going to work out that way.
But the two words, voidable years. If you get somebody, if Jerry Jones is okay to doing that, and the Cowboys should not have a problem with that. As much money they make hand over fist, they're one of the most valuable franchises in that. If this was the Bengals doing voidable years, good luck with that when they're trying to find it. Can we get out this early? Now the Cowboys have enough money where they don't have to worry about that. They want to kick the can down the road a couple times, keep stretching it out with that credit card, and basically keep extending it. They should be fine doing it, but I don't know what it is about them not being able to do okay with that and allowing them to use that. For the life of me, I don't get their cap strategy. And now you're seeing the ramifications of not having a sound cap strategy or putting yourself in this position, because now the Eagles have all these players that they have signed up and they're in a good spot. Look at the Cowboys now. Well, we don't know if Dak's coming back. Well, we need CD to get the money. Oh, we just lost another good weapon for Dak, so Dak doesn't know. So Dak won't be as effective, you think? So it's – oh, yeah, by the way, you got the curse of not winning back-to-back years in the division. So good luck with that, too. So it's just a bad time to be in the Cowboys, I think, right now.
Hey, Chris, sorry about that, man.
You're good, man. You're good.
Technical difficulty there.
Oh, good. I was just standing there for I can be the screensaver to that one. Hey, I can just I can't juggle. I was like start modeling off what's around this office.
We're back. We're back, people. I don't know what was going on, but hey, we're back. So you were basically saying how the Cowboys are kicking the can down the road, and I mean, I was saying they were getting before I had my technical difficulty. I was talking about how they got bailed out with drafting Dak Prescott. I think in the 4th round. They didn't expect this. They did the same kind of roster construction with the DeMarcus Ware seasons and Tony Romo and all that, and they got bailed out by getting Dak Prescott. At some point, this is going to bite you. You consistently do business this way. That rent's going to come due.
Yep, and you're going to start seeing those bad years when they have like the Quincy Carters and the Chad Henneys and everything else like that. Well, if you think you can just keep grabbing quarterbacks like in day three area, day 2, like 3rd round or fewer that actually have a consistent impact, it's really tough to do that. Sure, you have your Nick Foles. Sure, you have and everybody goes, well, Tom Brady was a 600. Tom Brady was a unicorn in that whole entire situation. You're not going to find that. So.
Come on.
Good luck. I mean, Kirk Cousins.
Purdy.
Okay,
now there's another one for the people who love to talk about the fact that you can go and get a 6-7. So now they found the next episode of that. And so now it always, you don't really need to invest in the good quarterbacks. You just go and get a Brock Purdy, because that just always happens.
Yeah, I want to see Brock
Purdy.
They
didn't draft any 6th-round quarterbacks this year who ain't going to play a lick, who get cut.
They'll be the ones calling, like, hey, Philly, is Tanner McKee available? We need to see if we can use him for a year or 2. Yeah, give us a 2nd-round pick. No, it's too high. They're going to find themselves in a situation like that, especially if Dak leaves. I mean, they'll probably tag him or whatever just to try to keep around. But say there's an avenue where Dak leaves. Where are they going? I mean, free agent-wise, Tom, can you come out just for 1 year? No, I'm not getting hit just for this team. No, get out there. There's not that many options unless you want to go to draft and try to develop a guy, and then that's what set you back even more. and you still don't have their weapons because you're still worried about you making. It's a domino effect. Like the smallest decisions contract wise can affect you 3, 4, 5 years down the road, and
Absolutely.
they're finding themselves in an area where they're going to be struggling if they don't fix it pretty soon.
I don't want to make this one the longer one, so I'll have to get your thoughts on one of the most harebrained decisions another time. So I'm not going to do this on this one. It's a teaser for the next time I get Chris. We'll talk about the Michael Penix, Kirk Cousins situation, which is just out of this world. That is along the lines of what we're talking about here. Things that have long-term repercussions for your team, for your franchise, and people being willing to come to your team and investing and being on your team. I'm going to leave it there.
No comment. I'm no comment on this one. That's a no comment on me for me. Nah, that's a no for me. In the words of Randy Jackson, that's a no for me, dog. Nah.
So who's winning the Broncos job? They gotta try to roll the ball out there with Bo Nix, right?
I think you start with Wilson, and then you I know everybody wants to throw Nix in, like they throw these first round quarterbacks in early, but there's something to it where you just want to get their feet wet. Let Zach Wilson start the season for the first 5, 6 games. Let Nix get a good feel for it. I would say Nix. You sit like I'm from the school of let him sit down a year. I know you lose a year, but that's why you have a 5th-year option.
Red shirt. Okay,
and them go that way. But something tells me let Wilson go 5, 6. And that way you probably start out slow as well too. And then after that you get you throw Knicks in, have their issues, and you look for a future that way too. But yeah, no. Sean Payton's probably gonna go with Knicks early on, but I think you got to use Zach Wilson and see what he's gotten in that system, and let Knicks learn behind him. That's what I would do.
See, my thing is I don't know what they have around whoever they're putting out there. And I think I know that Zach Wilson stinks. And so I think he's going to – I think I know. I'm not sure yet. But
I like Cortland Sutton. I like Marvin Mims. I wish Mims was when he was available. I thought he would have been a good choice, but now we see what
they lost Jerry Jeudy.
Yeah. So if Sutton stays healthy and Mims lives up to it, to prove you got some pieces there. It's a matter of who's going to throw the ball, get the ball to him. That's a situation where if I'm watching Sutton or if I'm watching Mims, how they react on the sideline, because it ain't going to be pretty for most of that year. It is not going to be pretty.
They're in a situation, Cortland Sutton. If you're listening to this, I'm telling you, just get your money. If that's what you're about, just get your money. Don't worry, but you're not even close to playoff contention. I don't expect much for the Broncos at all.
What's the trade deadlines now? I think I want to say week 9 now, something like that. Maybe he's a name that you pop up. They try to get something for,
and they would get something for him because he could play. Yeah. We haven't seen the best from Cortland Sutton. He had a good season last year with Russell Wilson. B- Russell Wilson. So I think I think he could have a lot better production somewhere else.
Yeah, if he gets straight to Pittsburgh, I will laugh so hard if that happens. Welcome back.
So before we get to break, Chris, who do you think will have more total scrimmage yards next season? New Eagles running back Will Shipley or new Eagles wide receiver Anaya Smith?
See, part of me wants to say Shipley just because of the return thing, but I really, really like Anaya Smith. To me, I know you got the cornerback and everything. To me, he's the most intriguing player and my personal favorite pick in this draft so far. Because I look at what you can potentially do with him and where you can set him up. You can be creative. He's a slot guy. He's not mainly a guy. But he's a former running back. He's a former running back. So if you want to put him in the backfield,
like he runs like a running back.
Yeah, Texas A&M used him for a year when they were basically had nobody back there. They used him back there to help in the backfield. He had vision. So not only can you use him, say you put him and Barkley in the backfield same time, that's a really good combination you got to figure out and try to adjust defensively. So you're like, oh wait, where's he going to motion late? Try to adjust that on the last second. So you got that. You got his ability in the natural slot position. You can use him on jet sweeps when they're running this year. And then, with the new kickoff rule with the 2 returners back there, he can really make sense. One cut and go. He can really make things happen. So, and Shipley, I look at that just for the fact that I think he'll compete for a returner spot too. I look at what he does. But when you have Saquon Barkley back there, who's going to be your 3-down back, and then sprinkled in with Kenneth Gainwell on that one too, I don't know if he's going to get the touches as much to be as much. I look at Shipley, and I know you have Smith, Brown, Goddard, all those guys. I just see Shipley as a guy who can be really dynamic and while not only taking a potential kickoff to the house, but can make an impact almost like a Quez Watkins plus to me. I see him like that.
Yeah, they really got some steals in this one. I haven't yet got I'm hearing nothing but great things about Jalix Hunt. I can't really myself comment because I haven't had a chance yet to watch too much tape on him. But I rely on watching, the play breakdown, not so much on the draft breakdown. But do you expect Jalix Hunt to be good? I guess before I even weigh in on that, because I don't have enough knowledge to know. But
I still think it's a big wait and see. And
okay.
it's not so much of it being that he played at FCS school, because we've seen FCS guys play well. I think it's a big jump to go. Yeah. With 1.0 version of him versus 2.0, which is 2.0. You can go this way. I'd rather go Dallas Goddard and wins at this point when it comes to that. But fair. I look at the way that the competition he went across. Some of the ones, those rushes he faced, I don't know what the tackle was trying to do on that one too. He has the athletic tools to be really good, but to go from safety all the way to edge rusher, and then all of a sudden you have in the FCS, mind you went to Cornell as a safety to Houston Christian as an edge rusher, and by the way, now you got to make the jump to face NFL tackles.
Yes,
he's got the tools. Like on paper, I just hope he doesn't become Davion Taylor Part 2. He's got the tools. He's athletic, and he's willing to learn from all accounts we've heard. It's a matter of, can he put that into action, and that's the biggest question for me. Like to me, he's a wait for 2020. He's like the Euro stashes in the NBA. You're drafting him. You're not expecting him to be an immediate contributor, but you're stashing him, hoping that next year he can be a guy who's that. Especially when you have BG who's going to be retiring. Hope he joins rotation.
You think potentially stashable in the practice squad or no?
No, they got to keep him on the roster. Yeah.
Okay. On the 53. Okay.
They may go light at off the ball linebacker.
Yeah.
Keep some of these edge rushers. And then as much as I want to say they go 6 corners, they may go 7 and 3 and just hope somebody plays both. Yep. And even then, you're losing a good safety sometimes. So
Coop.
I think, to me, Coop's more of a slot guy. I think he's more of a slot corner or a safety. I just look at that.
Yeah.
But he can play it if he needs to, but I think he's more of a nickel type guy, which means Isaiah Rodgers, and Cooper DeJean in the slot. Take your choice. Good luck.
Yeah. We'll be right back after a quick commercial break.
I think that Coach Reed has always done a great job of being a year ahead, and I think that's one of the lessons that I got to learn from him, working with him, for him. And so I think from our perspective, obviously that's always in the back of the mind when we're making picks, but at the forefront of it is guys who can help the football team right now. We think we're a good team, and we're trying to do whatever we can to help the football team.
All right, Chris, before we let the people go, let's play a little over under, and instead of repeating the same thing a bunch of times, I'm just going to say the number is over under 50% chance. All right.
Okay.
Over under 50% chance that John Ross, who's coming during rookie minicamp, signs with the Eagles.
I think, I'm going to go, I'll go over because it's 50.51%. Only reason why I say that is that for his situation to really excel in his situation, he's going to have to beat out Paris Campbell, which I think that's tough to do because of the history with Campbell and Sirianni. And then you got to go Devontae Parker, and they gave Parker that $1.2 million guaranteed, which is almost like, and the Patriots are paying the rest of that off. So I look at all that, and I'm like, you know what? Situational wise, how many wide receivers they get with Johnny Wilson and Nia Smith too. I think it's more of a chance for him to get tape and to get a chance, but it's extremely slow. I'll favor you over, but good luck.
1 second, Chris. My son just walked in. 1 sec.
Oh, we got Andrew. Hey, what's up?
All right. Before we were rudely interrupted by the young man. before we were rudely interrupted.
Still wouldn't trade
Family
it for anything in
time.
the world. That's cool.
Yes, it's the best. So you said over 50% chance that John Ross comes to the Eagles.
Yeah, and I make it and
By a
it's
little, by a hair.
by a little 51%.
Okay.
51%. And that can change by the time I hit my head to the bed tonight. But 51% probably. I'd probably say it.
Chant over under that Johnny Wilson, big boy, 6'6", I believe they said the largest wingspan ever. It's either the largest wingspan ever drafted or the tallest guy drafted in many, many years. 6'6". Do you think he switches to tight end?
Under. They really like what he can do on the outside. They really, truly do. To the point where I think the only time you'll quote unquote see him being a tight end is when he lines up, say, like that nasty slot where you have the wide receiver or a tight end like 2 or 3 yards off for the tackle and like there, and he runs maybe a route or two that way. But they really like him on the outside. They really think they got something there.
And things like that.
Yep. So I think he remains a wide receiver. I think it's I'll safely say under for the for him moving to tight end, and I'll go heavy. I'll go hard on him, heavy, like heavy. Yeah.
Okay. What about chance they pick up safety Justin Simmons, whose price is unfortunately good player, but price going down because there's a bunch of those kind of guys. You got the Marcus Mays, you got a bunch of other guys like that.
I think it's another under because where are you going to put him in this team? I mean, you can add him for a year, but who are you going to get rid of? I look at some of these the depth guys they have. You're not getting Reed Blankenship. You're not getting rid of C.J. Gardner-Johnson. You just signed him. You got why am I blanking on that? C.J. Cooper, even though he can help out, but not too. I think he moved Devontae back in there, Reed in there as well too. So I look at the safety position, and I think it's just something where they just roll with what they have right now, and barring an injury, or he says like, "Hey, I'll play for the veteran minimum," which I doubt. But if it's that one too, I still put that on the under on there.
Chance that Jeremiah Trotter Jr. takes one of the two starting linebacker spots from Nakobe Dean by the trade deadline.
If I knew that Nakobe Dean was always going to be healthy, right, that would be an easy under.
Let's stipulate health. I'm talking about straight up taking the job.
Oh, I'm still taking under. I'll take the under comfortably. On that one too. I think when you look at Devin White, they're really high on too.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
He's your cover. He's your cover guy. Yeah, it should be. Yeah, look at the physical tools in this guy and the way he knew. Like, put him in the right system. I think he has a rebound year. I think Nakobe Dean, they're banking on him as well too. I think the reason why I think he struggled last year is because he wasn't on the before he got hurt was because he wasn't on the field because he was hurt beforehand. He couldn't get in the flow. So I still think it's under that. Trot do that. Ask me in 2020. Ask me 2025, but right now I think it's still a healthy under.
Okay. 50% chance that they bring back Zach Cunningham.
High under, unfortunately, and that was my guy. Like that was one I look at the guy. I really thought heavily that he'd be resigned because I didn't think Devin White was even going to be on the Eagles' radar. And I thought it made sense Cunningham was going to be the guy that takes over as that will and come and return in there. But yeah, there's just no room. Even like I was mentioning roster construction wise early, I don't think they carry a lot because you got Van Sumeren, Brandon Smith, Dean, White, Trotter. You're going to have to keep Trotter because you used a pick that high on there. You used a draft pick. White, Stan, Dean's are your starters. Van Sumeren is a special teams guy.
Ace, yeah.
And you want to keep saving some of these other positions. So yeah, unfortunately, I think
going light on linebacker, probably two linebackers.
Yep, because they're going to even it's weird because they're using the 3-4 look, even though it's the same look like last year, and it's a 3-4 look,
but it's a functional
4-3 under, 4-3 under, and somebody's going that way too. So you're going to get those looks on the outside. You know, some of those linebackers are going to be gone. Yeah, and you still forgot or in Burt, you still have that too. So you have him. They're high on him.
Very well should make the team. I mean,
and they're high on him.
Team. Yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised if he's you see some combination looks where he's in the middle, and you see some looks where he's on the outside with Bond. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw that.
Over under that LeBron stays in Los Angeles.
Oh, I'm
after
hammering the
AJ
under.
what?
Under. I'm running to the sports book. I'm running right there, hammering down. He's gone. He is gone. He is done.
Okay.
I think he's
I
done.
think so
Especially
too.
the way
But
he was set
I'm not
last
as
night.
emphatic as you. I'm surprised you're sure about it.
Oh, but the way he's going. Can you answer that? No, that has to be either he's a very good chess player, but no, the way he was looking, knowing that Brian, I wouldn't be surprised if the Sixers make a run because I really
They
should be.
probably get him if he's willing to leave. I think it's a great move for him
Because he doesn't have to be the guy scoring anymore, even though he's going to try to get the score. No,
or
get
even
his
number
points.
2 most nights.
Yeah. He's the best. Would you rather have him or Tobias Harris as a possible second or third scoring option? Because
Not
Boston
even
will flow through Embiid.
question.
Yeah. Embiid, the Boston will flow
LeBron
Embiid.
every day of the week.
Yep. And Max is just gonna get more open shots. You just need somebody to stand there and say, "Hi, I'm here" as your two guard, and a body at the 4, and you're good.
And he could disintegrate as a player and still help the Sixers along.
But 16 has to go for Bronny, though.
Assume
they have to use 16 for Bronny. They have to use 16 for Bronny, though. That's the thing. LeBron wants that Ken Griffey moment, and I don't know how well he can play.
Woj is kind of reporting that LeBron has kind of stepped back off of that. Have you seen that reporting?
I haven't seen that. That's just me.
He got to change his mind. I'm like, why are you changing your mind? Every team's gonna. I mean, honestly, these aren't NFL picks. These are NBA picks. F them picks.
Yeah, but pretty much, yeah. You saw the Sixers with Harden. Yeah, they pretty much said, there you go. They probably said, like, screw it. Yeah, here you go. Hey, you want a pick? Hey, probably on the crowd. You want a first round pick?
16 pick on LeBron James is what you're doing. I'm gonna pay him.
Come on, Alec. Yeah. Everybody's scoring the second round.
I put a 15th guy on the bench. I mean, there's no difference. The guy's not gonna get on the floor anyways, unless we're blowing somebody out or getting blown out.
And we're getting to the point now where second round picks are so more valuable because they're not they don't cost as much, and teams like, especially the contenders, don't have the rooms like, oh, give us a second rounder. We can fit this on our roster as opposed to the first round. So yeah, they could get him if they want to. They have enough ammo, enough remaining ammo to get him if they want to.
Absolutely. Or Bron could go back to Miami, which would be cool too.
Will Adam Silver allow it? That's a whole nother question. That's a whole other question.
Do that veto the Chris Paul to the Lakers veto?
Yeah. Oh, they're a process. You can't put them there. I'm sure it works. No. You go to New York or we're going back to LA. That's it.
What about talking about hanging up the cleats or hanging it up? AJ Brown said the goal is to hang it up in Philadelphia. If over or under that he successfully does that.
I go over, and I'm trying to go over 60 or 70% because I see him. I could see him being a long-term receiver. Maybe he goes the 1 year somewhere out at the end of his career to try to chase a championship if the Eagles are out of it. So that's why I can't put it like 100%. But the one thing I will say about AJ, like getting to know him over these last 2 years and then talking to him and everything, he's pretty much a man of his word. He's pretty bluntly honest at times too. Like some stories I can't share because it's
of course,
and then some stuff. But when it comes to on the record stuff too, very honest person. Like even when it came down to the whole Nick, especially that press conference right there where he's talking about Nick and letting their freelance and stuff, he'll tell what's on his mind. Too much when everybody's like, "Yo, chill out, don't tell too much." So I believe him. I believe him that he wants to remain. The problem is, I think the only thing that will hold him back is say if the Eagles are on a downturn and he's got a year left. He wants to remain. He wants to play. Does he try to go chase one more ring? That's the only reason I can't make it 100%. But yeah, I just told myself it's 70-80 instead of 60-70. So yeah, I think it's a better chance that it happens than it doesn't.
That is very interesting. People will be interested to hear that. What a change from just a couple months ago. From a friend of mine, we may have friendly bet a AJ Brown jersey that I will soon have. That he would have been back. Oh man, everybody, thank you so much for listening. Like I said, you could in the past you could have spent your 35 minutes listening to bunch of other podcasts. There's a million people who like to talk about the birds. I get to have some of the people who are in the rooms. If you're watching the press conferences, you will hear Chris's voice kind of soft in the back because they make these guys yell at the top of their lungs. But it's fantastic. Please leave a like and subscribe. Go follow Chris at C Franklin News, which is the universal handle. He probably brought C Franklin News as a website and he stashed it away somewhere. I mean, that guy's got it on lock. C Franklin News, look for
Blue Sky too.
Blue Sky. See, everything. You guys already know. Thank you all so much for listening, and look forward to doing more content with y'all soon. Peace.
He's an incredible running back. You know, I watched him over the years. I'm glad he's on my team. You know, one thing I can say, just watching him today, just being back with the team like Monday and today, you know, he's working really hard. That's all I want to see. That's all I want to see, because everything else is gonna come together. And what I saw today, him pushing teammates in the weight room and he doing what he does, like that get me excited. Because honestly, if I can get a guy like that who gonna come to work every single day and work hard, that's all that matters.